Hello, love bugs. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the show Arthur. I know a lot of you haven't seen the show in a while, or probably ever believe that it is a preschooler show, like Dora the Explorer, that repeatedly teaches children a few things each episode over and over until it's drilled into their heads, like the Spanish word for big or small, or like Sesame Street, who constantly teaches what specific letters are. Like C is for cookie, and that's okay with me. I'm not knocking Sesame Street by any means, but I am knocking Dora the Explorer, or as my family calls her, Dumb Dora. How can she teach kids anything? She doesn't even know how to look to the right unless the viewer screams it at her. Dora es no bueno. Dora is el stupido. But regardless of how you feel about that show, Arthur is completely different. It's like a slice of life show, similar to Hey Arnold, except not as dark, but just as interesting. And I am going to explain why. And I'm going to explain why Arthur is such a great show for anyone, no matter what your age is. Okay, so it's hard to tell what some of the characters are supposed to be. So real quick, Arthur is an aardvark, Brain is a bear, Muffy and Francine are monkeys, Sue Ellen is a cat, and Jenna, the gray girl with the pink dress and the gross-looking human nose, is also a cat. A mutated, homeless, disfigured cat, but a cat nonetheless. We are going to start off, of course, at the beginning, with the first episode, Arthur's Eyes. As someone who has eye problems, I can relate to what Arthur is going through. So, as I talk about this episode, I am going to compare my experiences with Arthur's. He decides to tell DW the story of how he got his first pair of glasses. It started when DW was 2 years old, and Arthur was 6. He is sitting in class next to one of his best friends, Francine. They're in math class, and he can't see the numbers on the chalkboard. So, of course, he gets every question wrong. I got my glasses when I was even younger than Arthur, and I hadn't started school at the time, but if I did, I probably would have failed too. My vision was different than Arthur's. It wasn't blurry, like his is. Instead, I had double vision. So if I was in math class with him, I would also fail and get every number wrong, because I would be seeing 2 of every number. We would both fail, but for completely different reasons. Later in gym class, Arthur keeps repeatedly bumping into different people, missing the ball when he tries to catch it, and he feels very embarrassed. Wait a minute. That kid, was that Sue Ellen? It is, but how is this possible? This is the first episode. She's not supposed to move to Elwood City until several episodes from now. What's she doing here? Hold on a second. There was an episode that happened later on in the show where Buster time traveled to go back to when he was a toddler. And there's a different episode where Sue Ellen is bullied by Arthur. He torments her so much that he brought tears to her eyes. So clearly, Sue Ellen manipulated the fabric of time and space in order to use the opportunity of Arthur not being able to see to humiliate and make fun of him as payback for the future bullying that he will do to her. Or maybe it's an animation error. Or maybe that's what they want you to think. And who are they? Well, it's none other than the aliens who ate DW's Snowball, of course. Or again, it could just be an animation error. Either way, it's very weird that she's here. He's in luck, because today the nurse is giving everyone an eye exam. Arthur can't read the board that's a few feet in front of him. I can relate. Not to when I was a kid, but now. I have extremely bad eyesight. Sometimes I can barely count fingers in front of my face. The nurse tells Arthur she needs to go to the eye doctor. When I was a kid, I would go to the eye doctor once a year. Now I go every few months to check the pressure in my eyes for my glaucoma. Everyone's outside of the nurse's room. They're spying on him. They all think he's in trouble with the nurse, even though that makes no sense. It's just really weird. And wait a second. Who is that? Why is there a really giant rabbit in line? Either he's a kid who drank a lot of milk, or he's an adult pretending to be a kid. In which case, someone should probably call the police. Okay, so Arthur and his parents are at the eye doctor. It's just a typical appointment. They're just checking his eyes. But then suddenly a giant worm appears out of nowhere, and it attacks and destroys thousands of buildings and leaves hundreds injured. Okay, that part doesn't happen, but Arthur does think that he sees a giant worm. But it's just a regular sized worm, and it got on the lens to the thing that they were using to check his eyes. But surprise, surprise, Arthur does need glasses. After Arthur gets his new glasses, he's so happy. He looks around and sees all kinds of great things he never noticed before, and it's really sweet and heartwarming and very realistic. He can see everything, including his mom's gray hairs and the bags under his dad's eyes. They probably got those things after the kids were born. Although, since they seem to prefer DW, they would probably claim it was all Arthur's fault. When I was a kid, this was exactly how I felt every time I got new glasses. For the first day, it looked like the ground was higher than it was, and it was very strange and hard to see how to walk. It was like that for years. I had pretty good vision, but eventually my eyes started to fail me. Now I wish I could have that kind of vision again and relive those kind of moments. What's unrealistic, though, is that they got to take the glasses home right away, like the same day. It usually takes weeks before you can actually get your glasses because they have to adjust them and put in the right lenses. I wish I could have gotten my glasses that fast. When he gets to school, Francine makes fun of him, and she starts calling him Four Eyes. When I was about to start school, I was worried that would happen to me. Luckily, it never did. Everyone else started to bully him as well. What the heck, Francine? You're supposed to be Arthur's friend, but you're more of a bully than the tough customers. The group in this universe that specializes in being bullies, but they're more supportive than you. All of my friends were very supportive through my eye issues. My problems started when I was still in high school. My lenses started to move around in my eyes, and I needed surgery to fix it. Buster comes to Arthur's defense, but then at lunch, Buster also makes fun of him by putting two drinking glasses up to his eyes and pretending to be him. Yes, the guy who collects rotting food and literally never takes a bath is actually making fun of someone. My friends and teacher all made me a get well card after my surgery. When Arthur gets home, he chose to have his vision be blurry instead of wearing glasses. I wish I had the luxury to make that kind of decision, so he puts his glasses in their case and launches them into the air with his slingshot. But because this is a cartoon, the glasses bounce off a wire for a telephone pole and fly into his open window and land gently on his bed. That must be a really good case if they're still completely fine. It's not even one of those actually good cases. It's just one of those that's like a little bag. I had to get lens surgery for both of my eyes. Shortly after that, my retina started to detach in both of my eyes. After it was fixed, they started to detach again. But they were fixed a second time and don't detach anymore. His next attempt to get rid of his glasses is to set them on a little hammer toy that DW has, in hopes that she uses the hammer to smash it. But he has to put them back on, because his mom walks into the room. DW hits his hand instead of the glasses. The next day at school, Arthur decides to take his glasses off before he gets inside, and pretends that he lost them at home. He's convinced he doesn't need his glasses, but then he somehow accidentally walks into the girls' bathroom. While he's at home, Arthur sees a special episode about the behind-the-scenes stuff for his favorite show, Bionic Bunny. He sees that the lead actor wears glasses just like him. They're the exact same ones. So the next day at school, he proudly wears his glasses, and no longer lets any mean comments get to him. Now Arthur is really good. Now Arthur is really good at the things he was failing at in the beginning, because now he sees how to do them properly. The episode ends with DW seeing a picture of her dad with a beard. Now she thinks her mom was married to another man. That is a very weird assumption. I know she's 4, but she's also a lot smarter than that in most episodes. So anyway, that's what happened to Arthur's eyes. If you're curious about my eyes, well, due to all the stress in my eyes from the previous surgeries, I now have glaucoma in both of my eyes. It didn't get detected in my right eye quick enough though, so now I can barely see out of that eye, and the vision in my left eye is blurry. Unfortunately, it is irreversible. But maybe someday, technology and science will advance enough to fix it. I decided to speak about all of this, not because I want you all to subscribe to me, because you feel bad for me, but because you like my content. I also want to urge you all to go to a doctor for your eyes at least once a year if you can, because anyone can get glaucoma no matter what your health is like. But I also want to tell you all that even though I have bad eyes, I'm still pursuing my dream to be an animator. No matter what your disability, you can achieve your dreams. There's always a way. There's always hope. Thank you guys for joining me on this very different and emotional video. If you like it, please leave a comment and share. And remember, be kind to everyone, and cartoons aren't just for kids. Thank you for watching.